Tomorrow marks 1 week until the midterm elections, and we are following some major races right here in Pennsylvania. Joining us now to talk about them is Dr. Donna Patterson, who is chair of the Department of History, Political Science, and Philosophy at Delaware State University. Dr. Patterson, glad to have you with us. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you. Happy to join you this morning.
Absolutely. So we're not only following the gubernatorial race here in Pennsylvania, we're also following that big U.S. Senate race. So let's start by rewinding back to last week, the one and only debate between John Fetterman and Mehmet Oz. Fetterman struggling at times when he was formulating his answers because of the stroke that he had back in May. And we've seen that Oz supporters have been pouncing on that, even using it in some of their campaign ads. So do you think this is going to hurt Fetterman come next week?
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I was actually surprised at how his post-stroke recovery has been weaponized to this degree, both, I think, locally and nationally. It appears that he's made a lot of recovery since he had the stroke in the fall. So I think perhaps he'll lose some voters, but also at the same time, it looks like he's rallying new voters as he's connecting at his various stops, asking them if they know people who've had strokes, if they've had strokes themselves.
Yeah, and he's been using it in his campaign ad to sort of relate to people who have had healthcare struggles themselves. Now, as we know, this race will likely determine the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. And in recent days, we've seen some big names coming out to try to rally and support voters. What do you expect voter turnout to look like, given that it is a midterm election?
All indications are that this is a very large turnout from the early votes. They're much higher than they usually are. I think in a lot of places, voters are galvanized, and Pennsylvania is certainly one of those places where you're really seeing voters galvanized. So I think the turnout will be quite large.
All right. Now let's talk race when it comes to voter turnout. We saw, for example, Reverend Al Sharpton out in our region here yesterday trying to get voters, encouraging them to go to the polls. Do you think that will be a big factor? Will race play a factor in some of these key races, especially here in PA?
I think certainly race is going to play a factor in some of the races. I think one of the races where we're seeing it play the biggest factor is probably the Senate race in Georgia. But certainly it will play some part in the Pennsylvania elections. It'll be really interesting, I think, to see how those numbers are. Fetterman appears, for instance, to have more of the black vote than he had in his primary. Dr. Oz certainly has the celebrity aspect. So it'll be interesting to look at the race breakdown there in terms of his supporters. But I think when you're looking at the gubernatorial race, Shapiro will likely have much more of the black vote than Mastriano does.
Now, we've seen the last election, the last major election, the presidential election, the race count, the election ballot count went on for days. Are you expecting it to be this close this time around next week?
I think in terms of the gubernatorial race, there seems to be a much bigger gap. So I don't expect the votes to be that close there. In terms of the Senate race, there's such a tight margin that it's unlikely that we may know the outcome that night. So that may actually take a few days.
We will have to stay tuned and see what happens. Dr. Donna Patterson, thank you so much for your insight. We appreciate you joining us here this morning.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.